Welcome back to Icarus. Today is going to be a long day as we embark on a journey to find exotic deposits and extracting the mineral. Unlike exotic nodes found in caves, the exotic deposits will require special equipment to find and then extract. The deposit extraction will become available in T3 when we unlock biofuel radar and biofuel extractor, but because we already progressed to T4, we have access to the electric radar and an electric extractor, which we're gonna use instead. There is no big difference. The main difference is with the radar you get a little bit more precision, but otherwise it's kind of same. And with the electric extractor it just has a better speed compared to T3 counterpart. So we're gonna go with those instead. The underlying principle is exactly the same. We will need biofuel can to power our electrical extractor, and for that we will need to have a portable biofuel generator unlocked. One biofuel generator gives us 2000 power, and to power 2 electric extractor we need to have 3000. So we will be crafting 2 of the portable biofuel generators, so we'll need to have 2 cans of fuel. The other thing that will make our journey way easier is a more advanced electric food throat, and the reason for that is because it's going to make a food with an additional buff for our mount, which we definitely want to have. And since I'm gonna make this one, I'll also gonna make a filtered water throat as well. And the last thing, I may be going into the Arctic biome for retrieving some of the deposits, and it will help our mount to have a bit of cold resistance, so we're gonna craft that as well. And lastly, we want a simple creature deterrent from T2. For that we need to unlock textile bench, even though we already have an advanced one, so that we have a simple creature deterrent that will help us to protect our extraction from randomly spawn wolves and tigers and whatnot. I will build all of those in a minute. The other important part that we need is a hot beverage. I generally use a coffee seed for that. And the reason we want a coffee seed is so that we can have a hot beverage for drinking in the Arctic. And here we are, Omni Animal Feed. It generates additional perks such as health regeneration and stamina regeneration, which is going to be quite important when we're going to be on the road. And we can easily feed it to our mount. And our mount has a bonus for the next 15 minutes, which is quite handy. Alright, we have everything we need. I'll start with the electrical radar and 2 electric extractors. Again, if you're starting on this journey at T3, then all you need is a biofuel radar and a biofuel extractor. The advantage of those is less things to carry. They have integrated power. All they need is a can of biofuel, but with the electrical extractors and the radar we also need the biofuel generators and 2 biofuel cans. And eventually I will work my way up to the workshop items and extraction that will give me a workshop radar and the workshop extractor. They're similar speed-wise to the electrical ones. The radar has a little bit better accuracy, but also attracts more animals. But the advantage of that is that we can drop it in from the orbit, so we have less stuff to carry on us, and we can send it back to the orbit when we're done. So that's our ultimate goal on the extraction journey. And for now we're starting simple with the homemade gear, whatever the gear is accessible to us. The next thing I like to take is a simple creature deterrent and some spoiled meat to power it, and that will reduce a hassle of us defending the extracting location because it can spawn wolves and other animals around it. And lastly, I like to take concrete building piece for 1 by 1, just so we have a place to sleep and cook meat and basically survive while we're waiting for the extraction. This is specifically useful if we're gonna go on in the Arctic region, but we're gonna probably start in the forest region and then see how we go. And finally, on the survival front, I've crafted a hot coffee, which gives us a temperature boost. Again, very useful for Arctic region. We have our tank as well, so this I always have on me. And then we have our Omni animal feed from the electric food throat, so that's obviously always useful to have. I'll just grab some more. Alright, so we're pretty much ready to go, but there is a storm. I'm gonna pack myself and wait until the storm comes down and then head out. Last thing that I forgot to mention, when you just start on this journey, it is super useful to have a horse mount with a cargo hauling that enables 1 extra inventory slot, because we're pretty much gonna load it up fully. Okay, so the storm is over. We have everything. The last item I built is orbital exchange. This will be very helpful when we're gonna be extracting exotics and sending them back to the orbit. So let's go. The first thing we need to do is start scanning. I'll do the scan actually next to the base. Now we need to hook up electricity with the portable power generator. This is where you may want to go with the biofuel radar instead, because this just reduces this extra step of taking out the power generator. So we got almost 4 hours of petrol, which more than enough to do at least sort of three deposit hunts. Okay, that's one is done. Well, that was too easy. Pick everything up. Get rid of the wire. Okay, the biofuel. So now we can have a look at the map and see where's next location. The way the scan works, and the only difference between the scanners really is how narrow the indications are. The more accurate, the narrower the path is. So basically we put a virtual line along the edges, and that gives us an understanding of where it could be located. So it could be located somewhere, basically anywhere in this region. The closer we are to the location of the deposit, the narrower those edges are. So like for example, this one is quite wide, so I would assume it's kind of gonna lead us somewhere over here. And similarly with this one. So I'm not sure if it's one or it could be actually two different exotic deposits. So maybe it's like this wide and then this goes that way, or it's definitely leads us somewhere on the other side of the map, which is quite far. We're gonna follow this path over here, so I'm gonna do another scan maybe somewhere around here. So let's get our mount and get to that location. That's our vapor condenser battle. Good way to get a lot of XP. Ourselves a cave. I'll just note the location. Alright, so looks like another exotic is located somewhere around here. Well, I'm just gonna do another scan. So same setup. Activate. And start scanning. And I also want to mount to train a little bit. So I'm gonna put it on a path. Have it kill a couple wolves. For me, the only guys I will be killing are other horses. Just get this out of the way. That's a mower. We don't really care about mower. may get a bear sometimes, depending on which location you're scanning in. Alright, the scan is done. That's a wolf. Okay, there's another aggro wolf. Now, generally not super in hurry to look at the map. I want to just pack everything, make sure I'm ready to go. Skin this wolf for bestiality experience. Alright, now we're ready to move. Let's check out the map. Oh, and we actually found the location, so it's right here. Now it's... You see this sort of indication gets super narrow when we get close. If we did not discover this location here and it would look like that, then it pretty much would indicate that exotic is somewhere on this ridge. But it's right here, super close. And from here we can sort of see the other two locations. And this is where we can sort of start pinging down more closely. So if we stretch these two lines as an example, and then these two lines, then it's probably narrowing it down kind of in this region. So I would guess that the next location is somewhere in the ice. So I thought I heard a bear. And the other one is really takes us somewhere here, and it's quite far, so I'm not gonna be chasing that one just yet. Alright, let's see where is that exotic at. Oh, we almost were next to it. Cool. Okay, that's good. So first thing, I'm gonna swap these two guys. I definitely want to place the deterrent. That will stop random animals spawning in this location. This is ton of fuel for almost 8 hours, more than we need. We can put up to 2 drills, so that's drill 1. That's drill 2, and this is where it's super helpful to have a mount with this skill maxed out, because that's give you 2 heavy mount cargo slots. So we can basically carry 2 drills and 1 radar with 1 single mount. Super helpful. We're gonna set up the power. Now with the power, you can power it from a single biofuel generator, but then they're not gonna be running at the full speed. So it's better to have 1 fuel generator per drill. Next is to use oil. Okay, we'll get oil here. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Now it's gonna take about 40 minutes to completely exhaust this location. And with a creature deterrent, we can pretty much leave this location and go on a mission or do something else and then come back to it. When I'm in the forest, I would put together a small hut just so I can come back. That's pretty much it. We're just gonna wait, and I might just put together the base, the temporary base. All we really need is a place to sleep. The window is useful if you're on the snow. That gives you better temperature. So that's it. You can cook meal here. Again, if we're in snow, we're not gonna have wood easily available. That's why I like to carry a spare wood. But because we're sort of here, we have plenty of wood around us. The other thing we want to keep in mind, keep an eye on, is mount food and keep feeding it, making sure it's fed. When I go on the snow, I would also recommend bringing extra can of water so you can give it to your mount, or when you go to the desert. In this particular region, you can just take your mount next to the water and it will drink it. Set up our orbital exchange. These things do get tendency to get full. It can carry 100 exotics each, and it gets roughly 3 exotics per minute. So in about half an hour it will be full, and you can get anywhere between, in my experience, between sort of 120 or 180 to, I think maximum I got 250. We just got ourselves 26 exotics. Once I get 600, so I need another 100 to order myself the radar. And the radar is, what I like about the workshop items is that I no longer need to carry the radar or extractors on me. I just need to have a station, and then whenever I want to do a scan, I'll just bring one from the orbit, or if I want to do a drilling, I'll bring it from the orbit as well. Super handy. So by the end of this extraction, I will have enough exotics to buy myself a radar. Right. Now, because it's concrete, there's no fire hazard, which is also good. Now while I'm waiting, I'm gonna just roll around, do some hunting, maybe beef up my mount experience. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes and we no longer have this exotic glow, so which means it's all done, all the exotics been extracted from this deposit, and we can pack things up and go. I feel like it's gonna be considerably less than 200. Let's see, so we've got roughly 100 altogether. We've got 26 before. So let's request equipment. We'll ditch the meat in here for now. We really don't need this. Okay. Just gonna unload everything into my mount. So we got 111 altogether. So we sent already 26 to the orbit. Not the best result. Could have been better.
Clear area. Oh yes, departing.
I may just skip the night here. Looks like I managed to destroy a wall. That was not very smart. Oh well, I'll make another one. Well, that's in a nutshell how you go about getting exotics. I think I'm still short. Yeah, I need 30 more exotics before I can get my accelerator. Now the next thing we're gonna do is wait for the refresh, which is gonna happen in roughly 35 minutes. Basically every 3 hours from the time on prospect, all the deposit locations will be refreshed and random location will become active. There is a bunch of locations on the map, like this one. So this location probably could disappear or can get refreshed, but all the map results will get refreshed every 3 hours, and from the time on prospect. So basically 1 day is 24 hours, so every 1 day it gets refreshed. Next 15 hours is also like divided by 3, so in 35 minutes we're gonna get a meteor event, and that will refresh all the exotics deposits, and we'll do a new scan and see where we need to go. In the meantime, I will return to the base and we'll wait there for the meteor event, which will replace the exotics. I just remembered we saw a cave entrance on the way to the deposit location, and I just want to check it out to see if there is an exotic there, and if it's gonna be enough for me to purchase the new scan of the orbit. Oh, look at that beauty. Excellent, so I actually managed to get myself an exotic.
Danger.
And now we have enough exotic to buy ourselves a radar, which I will do once I get back to the base. I'll see you at the base shortly. Alright, we're back at the base. We have enough exotics to buy ourselves the first extraction equipment, and the first thing that we can unlock and buy is a radar. Okay, let's get it sent to us. That also means that we no longer need this to carry with us. And the beauty of this radar that we're gonna get, it requires no power to run, so we can pretty much just put it anywhere. So we can deploy it and pretty much scan straight away, which is super handy. Okay, I'm going to pick this scanner up, wait for the meteor event to reset all the exotic locations, and then we're gonna do another extraction run. And here's exotic event. So this meteor event shower happens every 3 hours from a time on prospect, and has a nice animation. Looks very nice at night if you're lucky. This event will happen every 3 real-time hours, not the game time, the real time, and it will reset all the scans results and exotic deposit locations. Next one will happen at 1 day and 18 hours for me. And if we look at the map, all the scan locations are not gone, which means we're basically starting scanning from scratch. And that's what I'm gonna do. Let's just quickly harvest what we can so it doesn't spoil. Now while I was waiting, I've expanded my inventory. I'll take you quickly through this. Pretty much everything the same. We still have building pieces. Hopefully this time I will end up going to the snow region, and this is where the concrete walls will be more useful than in our last deposit scan. I've created another creature deterrent because I'm hoping to be able to do 2 locations at once, and now that we have a radar, I'm gonna send this radar back into space, and then I will carry 3 exotic extractors, 2 on my mount and 1 on myself, and whenever I will need to do a scan, I will order the radar from the orbit. I will use this box. I will place one of the extractors that I'm carrying into the box, take the radar, do the scan, and then move on to the next location. It will require a bit of shuffling, which is okay. Once we get to once we replace the extractors using the Workshop Extractors, then that's basically becomes much easier. We'll go to location, we'll do the scanning, we'll always have a radar on us, and when we're ready to actually extract, we'll order the extractors from the orbit. So getting to that point is a little bit tedious, but once you have 1 radar and 2 or 4 Workshop Extractors, then extracting operation becomes really easy. And the other thing I did is made 2 thermos with coffee, either for myself or for my mount, because again, if we're gonna go to the snow region, there is no water for my mount, and it's gonna be very useful. So I'm gonna load everything up, and then we'll initiate the scan. In fact, let's just initiate the scan first. This is a workshop scanner which requires no external power. It's just a matter of placing it and activating, and it will start scanning immediately. It scans a little bit faster, but also attracts a bit more animals than any other scanner. But if you have a good bow and a rifle or shotgun as a backup, then you shouldn't have any problems with that. If you don't like being attacked, then you may want to stick with the basic stuff, but generally it's nothing too bad. In the Arctic it could be Arctic bears, so bear this in mind. I like to scan every animal I kill just so I get bestiality experience. It does take forever to go all the way with it. And also I extract my arrows, which is also useful. Alright. Let's just have a quick look at where we're going. So one location seems to be potentially within green. It could be on a ice region here, but it could also be anywhere within here. And similarly with this location, it's sort of quite wide, so it could be anywhere here or in the ice or even in the desert. So what I'll do another scan probably around here, just to better ping down where we need to go, and then we can see this very thin line, and looks like it's actually one solid line like this, and that's probably the other side of the map actually. So yeah, let's gear up and start heading that way. Alright, so this is early morning. We pretty much packed. We got everything we need on our mount. I sent the radar into the space. I have the extractor on myself and then 2 extractors on my mount. And then we've got our blocks, sleeping arrangements, our 3 generators to power all the extractors. We've got our deterrent, we've got wood if we're gonna go into the Arctic region. We have enough petrol for each of the generators, and we have water and food. So pretty much quite ready for anything that comes our way, hopefully. And yeah, let's get going. The first location is that ridge over here, so we can narrow down where we need to go from here. Alright, let's get going. Also want to preserve my lantern because I'm probably going to be away from the base for at least a couple days. We're about to approach our scanning location. It's still 8:30 in the morning, so having a very good start in the day. Generally when I'm going out on long runs, like exotic expedition drilling, I prefer to start in the morning just so I have a good enough time to go across sort of the map if required. Alright, so we're gonna do a scan here, and we'll need to get our box out. Request the scanner from the orbital exchange. Get rid of our extractor so we have a space. And of course the thing lands right outside of the reach. So that's kind of a long way around. It's probably the main annoyance when you're starting out on a deposit drill. It's shuffling all those drills around until you get to replace them with the workstation ones. Okay, let's do the scan. I'm gonna position this man over here so he can do some practice. And I'll mainly be focusing on killing other horses and bigger game. Okay, that's also gonna land over there. done. I'll pick up the radar, scan all the animals, and then send the radar back into the orbit. Alright, and now we send off the radar, pick up the extractor from the top, and then we're gonna where we're gonna go. Alright, so good, quite lucky. Looks like this is very narrow pass, so I'm pretty sure there's one location over here, and this one is pointing back, so based on that I would say it's somewhere here, and then the other location seems to be in the desert. So we'll start here and then we'll figure out. All right, I'll see you when I get closer to that. So I'm just over here, and this location is quite narrow, so I'm gonna just maybe go towards here, and if I can't find it then I'll do another scan maybe at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's just somewhere around here. Generally there should be an opening that we'll see. And here we are. So that's our first location. First objection is to set up the animal deterrent to prevent any animal spawning. 2 hours is more than enough for us to do what we came here to do. And now we need two petrol sources. Hook it all up. We are all done setting this one up, and now I will try to figure out where the other location is. So now there's a snow region there. Now this one is way too far, so it's probably just the other side of the map and I'm not going to bother with it, but I think this one is sort of within reach. At this point it could be in a desert or could be in the Arctic region, not sure. So maybe I'll do a scan here and then it will help me to narrow things down. I've got about half an hour before the extractors get full. I hope it's in the snow because I'm more prepared for the snow than for the desert. Okay, so I think right about here is a good location for a scan. I always like to do them on the edge of a mountain. That's just... Okay, there is a bear over there. Just reduces the sort of angle of attack for the creatures to spawn. Okay, so we'll do the scan over here. And again, we'll need to place our orbital exchange. Get ourselves a radar. This location may have a bear. Be prepared for a bear always. Can be handled by the horse. Oh shit. also getting hungry, but I do have some food on me, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, my mount managed to do the job. Let's see where we need to go. So, yeah, it seems like we will end up progressing quite far into the snow region or somewhere there. So maybe I'll just finish for this to run before I'm gonna go deeper into the mountain. Maybe I'll just do a quick scan somewhere over here. Alright, let's get out of here. So I decided to go back to the first scan location, set up fire to cook some meat, and then I'll go into the desert and do another scan. Fiber and sticks. And I'll also will need some wood. Stone, a bit more stone. Now eventually I will set up maybe a small hut here made out of wood. Looks like I've started a fire. How's our mount doing? We need to feed it. So always keep an eye on the mounts. Make sure you always feed it. Probably not gonna hurt to give it some water. They do drink a lot, so keep in mind, especially when you're gonna go into the ice region. So I think I'm just gonna go somewhere here and see if I can do a quick scan. So if I get lucky, then the deposit locations are quite nearby and they're clustered, and generally if not, I will focus on doing some missions or building a base and basically wait for another time to do the scan. Now we did open this path in one of the previous missions, so getting to the desert should be super quick. And having a mount is definitely advisable. There's quite a few strong enemies here. I have a shotgun, so I'm not super worried, but at the same time I really don't want to waste all of my ammunition. so maybe I'll do the scan here. I'm also mindful of my temperature. I'm drinking coffee, which is debuff for the desert. It's better suited for an Arctic region. So I really want to finish this scan and get out of the desert as soon as possible. Alright, let's get out of here. Get away from all the animals so I don't waste my time fighting them. And now we can have a look at the map. Okay, so this one points us here. And looks like we need to go just across here, which I think is an Arctic region. Yeah, I don't quite remember the map, but the Arctic region starts here. We can see the snow. And then it's probably zigzags, so maybe we can get there from here. For now, let's just head back to the base. We'll find it. Alright, let's send the exotics we have so far. So this seems like a much better run than the previous one. We already have at least 132 exotics. Hopefully we'll get them closer to another 100 out of that. Let's get food as well. Feed the amount. Okay, so we have a couple options. Wait for this finish extracting, or try to figure out how to get to that location. Decisions. So these two kind of look similar, and we can see that this is basically the distance. So we're kind of looking at location over here. The question, what's the best way to get here? It's also getting late, so I think I set up a small cabin here, sleep overnight and then head out in the morning. Okay, so we have a basic shelter. I think with the shelters, if we have a 2x2, we don't actually have a door in order to sleep. We do need to move the campfire a bit closer to us, so let's quickly do that. So, I'm gonna grab all the exotics, and it gives us another 30 minutes until it gets full or run out, whatever comes first, and we're gonna get into the ice region and see if we can find the location of the other deposit. So we're heading over there somewhere. So we have a coffee buff on us, which gives us a better survivability on the snow. One thing to be mindful of are crevasses. Gonna have a few of them. And if the storm hits us, then we'll also have a concrete shelter. Wow, there's a pack of snow leopards. The bats. So there are two traverses just here. Which way do I want to go? Feels like over there is a good scanning location. So these wolves will pretty much try to attack us as soon as we start scanning. But you know what? It should be fine. Actually, hang on. So it's definitely not here. That's pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, I think we need to find our way there. So probably there is no point scanning in this location. Alright, let's keep moving. At this point I'm kind of regretting not to take one of the extractors from the other location to have two extractors on me, because it's a bit of a long way to go. And I think it would have been much more efficient to have two extractors on me for the snow region and have one extractor continuing in the forest. Well, that's a lot of wolves. Okay, we lost them, so... Alright, let's keep going. So I'm watching out for the traverses. You can fall into them very easily. There's a bunch of them in front of us. I'm also keeping an eye on stamina, because the last thing you want to end up is no stamina and a bunch of wolves around you. Oh shit. And despite our efforts to avoid the traverse, I end up falling into one. Okay. You can actually get quite a lot of damage from a traverse if you fall in one. So, do not recommend if you can avoid it. Okay, let's review where we're at. We're quite deep into the Arctic region. Kind of curious where is the nearest exit. Just looking out for any threat that I can find. Also keep an eye on mount. Okay, so it's kind of points here, but then this one points here, so I reckon it's gonna be more over here than anywhere else. Okay, let's check out this location. I'm just looking for an edge of a mountain or something at this point. A good place to do a scan, because we've got scorpions, we've got wolves, we might have a polar bear. The scorpions are kind of annoying to kill. Also looking out if I can spot the exotic. Let's do a scan here, see what happens. It's probably gonna be there, or maybe just behind over there. Okay, that's done. Okay. All right. Here is another exotic deposit location. It's a nice location. Kind of isolated from there. I have a bit of a hill, so I feel like it's a bit of security here. Nice. Okay, so the only problem is that we only have one extractor, so we're gonna be here for a while. much done here for now. One extractor will take forever to extract all the deposits from this location. I'm kind of leaning towards coming back here. I wonder if it's going to be faster to go this way and then through the desert over here. It definitely seems like a faster way to go around than going all the way back. And assuming this is a sort of, it's going this way. Okay, I'm gonna go to other locations. So now the thing is, if we didn't have a deterrent, then we pretty much have to stay here and keep it protected. But with the deterrent, haven't had a major accident. So I'll go to that location. We'll collect the extractors. Hopefully they've finished by now, and then we'll come back here and set up second extractor and get this location empty, and hopefully we'll end up with anywhere between 300 and 400 exotics between these two locations. Have a bit of wind event on the Arctic, but I think we're getting close to the desert region, so should be alright. Okay, so that's a definitely much closer path between these two locations. So that's why we did our scan. We did our scan over there. Definitely was a closer to go this way, for sure. Alright, let's fast track to the first location. Hearing by the sound, this is all done. What the hell? Oh, okay, I thought it disappeared for a while, for a minute. Got spooked. Alright, so we're back at our initial destination, initial scan location. We came all across here. It was much shorter trip than all around Arctic. Should have taken it previous time, but oh well. Live and learn. And this location is done scanning, so I will request the space shuttle. And also want to send off my scanner. Make sure that we grab that, get rid of it. I'm not gonna have a space for it anytime soon. So we have a good run this time, over 200 exotics. Sending back the radar, we're not going to use it for now. Nice. So we have 266 exotics. I'll need almost 800 to get my first extractor, so I'm gonna be working towards that. We'll pack this location and then head back to the Arctic region. coming back to our Arctic extraction location. Seems like it's still going. Third location, first of all, third location I think is going to be quite far from here, so it's probably going to be somewhere around here. So this width is roughly two full squares away, and we have much wider. So 1, 2, 3 could be anywhere around here. It's gonna be another desert region, or could even be a grassland region, not sure. But either way, it's kind of far, and I only have one extractor available to me, so I think I'm just gonna wait it out and stay here, hunt wolves, see if I can get a mount, maybe get myself a snow mower. Snow mower would be nice. Set up a base, since I'm staying here for quite a while. So depending on how many exotics there are, it can take anywhere between sort of 30 and 40 minutes to deplete. In the snow, the wind is very useful. And so is the door. Oops. Definitely don't want to burn my bed. Running low on water, so I'm gonna address that and then feed it. Alright, let's go around, do some hunting, and we'll come back when it's all depleted. a lot of wolves. For a minute I thought I was fucked. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. So many days later, I finally got myself a few sets of Workshop Extractors. As you can see, I'm also in a new location. I've been to this location a few times, so I ended up building a base. There's another deposit, sometimes appears over there. So two deposit locations nearby that get spawned. And this location is quite often gets on the radar. And because I've got workshop equipment, and I can sort of justify having a mower with just one slot, because pretty much everything I get comes from the space anyway. So I'm just in the middle of doing some cooking. Just killed a mammoth and waiting for my last location to get emptied out. Okay, the inventory is getting full. Quite still stunning view. I think snow is my sort of favorite sunsets in this game. There's a beacon. And I now have 5 total extractors. which really helps with mining for exotics. And this particular run I got quite lucky. I've got 3 locations very close, so basically almost within kind of an hour I emptied these 2 locations, and I'm just waiting for the Arctic location to finish, and then I finally will have enough exotics to get 6 extractors. And with 6 extractors you can always mine almost simultaneously 3 locations. They're usually kind of nearby with a few exceptions. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a line. I try to answer all of them. Oh, check this out. This green tint. That is quite nice.